the message comes up.
Yes.
Yes, live on YouTube. Okay, all right, Omkarji, the mic is yours.
So the topic today was Earth. And again, of late, we have been giving double meaning topics. So Earth again has two meanings. One is what we call Prithvi in Hindi and Mitti. I mean, it is also used in the sense of soil. So I have composed two poems, each on each of the two senses. So the first is on soil sense of earth. And the title is Wapas Zarur Ana. This, in a way, it gives you imagery of village, what you actually see in village. गांव छोड़ते समय मिट्टी ने मुझसे कहा, भूल मत जाना, वापस जरूर आना. गांव छोड़ते समय मिट्टी ने मुझसे कहा, भूल मत जाना, वापस जरूर आना. शायद ये खेत न रहे, ये कच्चे रास्ते न रहे, ये झोपड़ियां न रहे, ये चूल्हे न रहे. शायद ये खेत न रहे, ये कच्चे रास्ते न रहे, ये झोपड़ियां न रहे, ये चूल्हे न रहे. शायद यह बरगद न रहे, यह चबूतरा न रहे, यह पनघट न रहे, यह मंदिर न रहे. शायद यह बरगद न रहे, यह चबूतरा न रहे, यह पनघट न रहे, यह मंदिर न रहे. शायद कुकती कोयले न मिले, रंभाती गायें न मिले, उछलते मेंढक न मिले, चमकते जुगनू न मिले. शायद कुकती कोयले न मिले, रंभाती गायें न मिले, उछलते मेंढक न मिले, चमकते जुगनू न मिले. शायद पीढ़ियों पुराने ये रिश्ते न रहे, या रूठना न रहे, या मनाना न रहे. शायद पीढ़ियों पुराने ये रिश्ते न रहे, या रूठना न रहे, या मनाना न रहे. This is what the soil is telling the person who is leaving the village. So it says that when you return, whenever you return, you may not find all this in the village. Then it says, शायद यह गांव भी न रहे, पर मैं यहीं रहूंगी. तुम्हारा इंतजार करूंगी. जो मिट्टी मुझसे बनी है, कहीं और मत मिलाना. मेरा सामान मुझे ही लौटाना, वापस जरूर आना. This is the first one.
Beautiful. Really nice.
The second one is smaller. I'll just quickly read. The second is in the sense of earth. And the title is Prithvi or Akash. मैं जितनी सी जगह पर खड़ा हूं, मेरी पृथ्वी उतनी सी है. मुझे जितना सा दिखता है, मेरा आसमान उतना सा है. मैं जितनी सी जगह खड़ा हूं, मेरी पृथ्वी उतनी सी है. मुझे जितना सा दिखता है, मेरा आसमान उतना सा है. मैं चलूं तो मेरी पृथ्वी बढ़े. मैं खुले में आऊं तो मेरे आकाश को विस्तार मिले. मैं चलूं तो मेरी पृथ्वी बढ़े. मैं खुले में आऊं तो मेरे आकाश को विस्तार मिले. कोई मुझसे पूछे कि आकाश कितना विशाल है, तो मैं कहूं उतना जितना तुम देख सको. कोई मुझसे पूछे कि आकाश कितना विशाल है, तो मैं कहूं उतना जितना तुम देख सको. कोई मुझसे पूछे कि पृथ्वी कितनी बड़ी है, तो मैं कहूं उतनी जितना तुम चल सको. कोई मुझसे पूछे कि पृथ्वी कितनी बड़ी है, तो मैं कहूं उतनी जितना तुम चल सको. यह कहीं पढ़ाया तो नहीं जाता, पर सच यही है. यह कहीं पढ़ाया तो नहीं जाता, पर सच यही है कि सीमा मेरी और तुम्हारी है, पृथ्वी और आकाश की नहीं. Thank you.
Very nice.
Very, very nice. Very nicely done.
I think both the poems were so good, Omkarji. It was
agree.
wonderful. Excellent poems, both of them.
All right. And welcome Gunika and Jasbir.
Hi.
Bye.
So I'm sorry I have to leave.
Yeah,
Okay.
But thank you for sharing that.
We are
Omkarji.
sorry.
It was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Oh,
Okay, but I'm just doing some because the Zoom link changed, so I'm doing some last minute scrounging.
mhm.
Cyrus, you want to take over the host for the time being?
Yeah, I can. I'll take over till you are back
Yeah,
online.
thanks.
All right. So I've got Sanjay next on the screen.
Okay.
Sanjay, would you like to share something today?
Yeah, but my poem, my poem is not on the topic that was given, Cyrus. So,
That's okay, Sanjay. I think
yeah.
we shall be adults about it and still love to hear what you have.
Just give me a minute. This is really, I've done this for the Janmashtami right now. It's
Okay.
the conversation between Krishna and Arjun. And this is in the words of Kathy Azmi. Okay. So this is this is how he described that dialogue between Arjun and Krishna. Uh, shall I start? Can you hear me? Cyrus?
Please do. Yes, we can. We can hear you very clearly. Thank you.
It's a poem called Farz. Farz, of course, it means duty, as we all know. और फिर कृष्ण ने अर्जुन से कहा, ना कोई भाई, न बेटा, न भतीजा, न गुरु, एक ही शक्ल उभरती है हर आईने में, आत्मा मरती नहीं, जिस्म बदल लेती है, धड़कन इस सीने की जा छुपती है उस सीने में। जिस्म लेते हैं जन्म, जिस्म फना होते हैं, और जो एक रोज फना होगा वो पैदा होगा। एक कड़ी टूटती है, दूसरी बन जाती है, खत्म ये सिलसिला जीस्त भला क्या होगा। जीस्त इज लाइफ, द पर्शियन वर्ड फॉर लाइफ। रिश्ते 100, जज्बे भी 100, चेहरे भी 100 होते हैं। फर्ज 100 चेहरों में शक्ल अपनी ही पहचानता है। वही महबूब, वही दोस्त, वही एक अजीज, दिल जिसे इश्क और इदराके अमल मानता है। जिंदगी सिर्फ अमल, सिर्फ अमल, सिर्फ अमल, और यह बेदर्द अमल सुलह भी है, जंग भी है। अमन की मोहिनी तस्वीर में है जितने रंग, उन्हीं रंगों में छुपा हुआ एक खून का रंग भी है। जंग रहमत है कि लानत, ये सवाल अब ना उठा। जंग जब आ ही गई सर पे तो रहमत होगी। दूर से देख न भड़के हुए शोलों का जलाल, इसी दोजख के किसी कोने में जन्नत होगी। इसी दोजख के किसी कोने में जन्नत होगी। Thank you. I
Very
Wow,
nice.
that's an amazing ending.
Conversation.
Some corner of hell will be Jannat. Yeah,
yeah,
wow.
that's right. Yeah.
Wow.
So I think it's fairly straightforward, not very complicated, isn't it? जिस्म लेते हैं जन्म, जिस्म फना हो जाते हैं। फना is to become extinct, to get obliterated. फना, silsila is yeast, is the cycle of life. Yeast is life. रिश्ते 100, जज्बे भी 100, चेहरे भी 100 होते हैं। There are lots of distractions in the world. Okay, फर्ज 100 चेहरों में शक्ल अपनी ही पहचानता है। In spite of all the distractions around you, you know what you have to do. Everybody is aware of what the duty is. वही महबूब, वही दोस्त, वही एक अजीज, दिल जिसे इश्क और इदराक के अमल मानता है। It's just that there are several things around you, but you know what you have to target. And zindagi sirf amal, sirf amal, sirf amal. That means life is about doing and not about analyzing and thinking all the time, you know. And अमन की मोहिनी तस्वीर है, जितने रंग उन्हीं रंगों में छुपा हुआ खून का एक रंग भी है। So violence is a part of life, and there can't be peace without violence. That's what he's trying to say. And I think rest is दूर से देखना भड़के हुए शोलों का जलाल. Don't just admire what's going on in the world. Don't be a passive person. इसी दूर से देखना जलाल, इसी दोजख के किसी कोने में जन्नत होगी. You have to find your heaven in this. So you have to be actively involved, remain engaged with life, do your duty, and attain self-realization. That's a broad message. We're all familiar with it. But it says that this is a Urdu in the Urdu language.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's quite nice. I was hearing it.
Yeah, I love the words. Urdu words
Yeah.
were really nice, you know,
Yeah,
they were fitting
yeah.
in so well.
Yeah.
And especially fana and all those things, you know, it's a very nice kind of a feeling. Somehow I love to hear these words.
Yeah.
I
It
don't know.
brings back to mind a different time,
Yeah,
Ganika.
exactly,
know,
exactly. I mean, like we,
a
I
more
don't think people
genteel.
use
Because
it.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Every language has its strengths, I suppose. Like this Hindi has some beautiful words.
Yeah.
A word,
And
for
so
instance,
soothing, you know, when you're speaking Urdu, it may be just literally throwing stones at you, but it's so soothing.
I don't know. Well, I remember long years ago, my father had this theory that Punjabi is a really crude language. Okay. So there was this friend of his, he was from the police service, a gentleman called S.L. Kapoor. Incidentally, father of Anil Kapoor, who's and grandfather of Ram Kapoor, the actor. Okay. So they used to live in Ramakrishnappuram here, where Mr. Kapoor had his quarter. And so my father had this argument with him that Punjabi is a terribly crude language, especially compared to Hindi and Urdu. My father was in the Urdu camp, of course.
Hmm.
So Mr. Kapoor took us to his home and he had a large collection of poetry, Punjabi. He was from Lahore, so he knew both languages very well. And he was a man of letters. I mean, those guys don't exist anymore in our time and age. So he just pulled out a book and he started reading. And the Punjabi that he was reading, you know, and we didn't understand a word. I was, of course, very small then. My father didn't understand a word, but he was so greatly impressed that he discarded that view for all times to come. So I think the sweetness and I think every language has its,
Yeah.
you know,
I
if
can.
you, if you treat that language with affection, and I think that's what matters,
Yeah.
and then it'll sound right. It'll sound nice.
Yeah, I can vouch for that
Mhm.
because the same thing used to happen when I was a child in my Masi's house.
Hmm.
She was a rich lady. Her address was 1 Flagstaff Road,
Okay.
which used to be the address of the, you know, some like, British time, some senior general.
Hmm.
So after lunch, they used to roll up the carpet, and one of the ladies used to start with poetry, Punjabi poetry. It was so melodious, I tell you. I still miss that. And it's been one of my targets to get somebody to speak that Punjabi poetry in one of our sessions. I've tried many times to get people to do that. But remember, the poetry from West Pakistan is quite different than the poetry from the tongue from East Pakistan. Lahore was the center, and I believe still is the center of literary activities
True.
in Pakistan. We have got incidentally, S&P Global has got a very big office in Pakistan, and a lot of graduates from Lahore University join us. So that was, you're on mute, sir.
There's a place there called LUMS, LUMS, Lahore University of Management Sciences. I don't know if you're
Gotcha.
recruiting from there. Yeah,
Gotcha.
that's one campus I've visited. So I've interacted with the students there. Quite a nice place, yeah.
Oh, okay. Because most of the Lahorians I have met in Dubai when I used to work out there. So a lot of Pakistanis used to come in. And I've told my boss this, that we need to tap talent anywhere. It can't only be in Delhi or India or
Sure,
US.
yeah.
Okay, I think we are good. Thank you, Sanjay. Let's go on. Cyrus, I'm going to keep you a little to the last.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
And may I ask Jasveer to pick up the mic and entertain us with her impeccable poetry. I mean, she just flows if she gets the mood.
Not really, come on. It's not that. Anyway, it's Earth, Birds, and Me. We know we can't fool you, yet we do. We do know your immense power. You booted out the mighty dinosaur, the terrors of the terrain. Thought they were here forever. With a sneer, the earth conveys the indiscriminate use of resources, will teach you a horrendous lesson. Get ready to bear the consequence. Any guesses what we think? No end of ourselves. Can you beat our arrogance when we loftily declare, save the earth? A few cardinals among the peppermint leaves sang, earth is resilient. Like the phoenix, it rejuvenates, reinvents itself with its earthquakes, hurricanes, cyclone, floods. Man, you'll be gone as sure as the sun goes down. For all your human failings, warring minds, banished and vanquished forever. Stop philosophizing. The meaningless debates, deliberation conferences on melting ice and climate change. Be the change you want to see. The song struck a chord. On my knees I implored, O earth, can't you instill a tad common sense that help us recognize, realize, reconcile our giant-sized egos once for all, that we just can't afford to play the fool with Mother Earth. So, time to stop complaining and readjust our way of life for a sustainable humankind. Thank you.
Nice. Good advice, Jaspir.
Yeah.
There's a lot
Good
of
lesson.
wisdom there.
Yeah.
So we need to wake up.
Yeah. Rajiv, you're on mute. Rajiv, you're on mute.
I know. I've been trying to get some new people who have been pinging me. It's terrible, this Zoom thing. Last week.
Okay.
Here she is. Here she is, and I'll just wait. Ratna is a very old friend of ours. She stays in Gurgaon too, and she's an author, has published books, and has got a love for all things art, including poetry. Ratna, you there?
Yeah. I just joined.
Okay, good.
I was getting directed to one of the recordings and I heard some beautiful Urdu poetry. I made my mom hear too.
Yeah.
And a lady was commenting that Urdu sound, the words of Urdu always make you feel very polite and nice. I grew up in Lucknow, so I have such a fascination for Urdu. So it was a delight to hear it. My compliments to the person who was saying.
Yeah, Sanjay. So quick introduction. We are a smaller group today. Cyrus is our in-house singer and lyric writer. We love listening to his, and I hope he will entertain us today with a song. Sanjay is our Urdu master, so he's the one who entertains us with Urdu poetry. Gunika is our in-house poet who can belt out, who's a very versatile and a very multifaceted poet who writes in Hindi and in English, both. So that's wonderful. And I just introduced her as saying, you give her a topic and 5 minutes later, she has a long poem ready. So she's one of those naturals, like while we are still scratching our heads. Yeah. So welcome, Ratna. Okay, but we had another person who had to leave, who was from Assam. And we have got a couple of other people also from Lucknow, by the way. Anupama is in Lucknow, and Dipali, I think. Dipali has not joined us today, but she had joined us last time. So you may feel comfortable when we get more people from Lucknow joining us.
That was decades ago. But the romance of singers.
Oh, you can take a person out of Lucknow, but you cannot take Lucknow out of a person. Okay, great. With that, let me hand over the mic to Gunika. And Gunika will recite a few poems for us. Gunika, over to you.
Yeah. This is something which is old. I might have shared it before. I don't know.
Mm.
So I would say it just goes with the topic about it. I mean, not really too much about it, but yeah, about it. So it's like months started to abate, like the sun sets over the horizon. I sat and watched the light of the sky, slowly and steadily growing lighter. As the birds left the sky bare and the clouds drifted away, strange smells of the evening started to spread its wings. A sense of airy silence filled the space above me, resonating with the long absence of sounds, like a kaleidoscope of emotions had done a long journey through me. I sat there with grains of sand slipping through my hands, only to find myself in the middle of nowhere, directionless, rudderless, helpless. The only truth was the earth moving on its axis. Thank you.
Wow.
Beautiful. Very nice.
So, kind of about the earth, but not really about the earth. So,
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, I think that's all. I don't remember reading this poem of yours.
I'm not sure whether
No,
I.
neither do I. So
No, I
I've
don't
not
remember.
heard this one before
Okay,
either.
that it's a win-win for me. You know, it's a new thing.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Okay, good. Ratna, have you got anything you want to read out to us? You're on mute, Ratna. Ratna, you're on mute.
Yeah, okay. No, Rajiv, unfortunately, I wasn't even sure if I'll join in because I was coming back
Yeah.
today because of G20. There was no traffic, so I reached home earlier. I decided to log in. So I will, and to be honest, I'm part of this group, but I'm not into poetry as much as most of you are. I'm more into reading non. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't. I enjoy poetry, but
Yeah,
but
that's
I
right.
do have some wonderful poem which I can send to you separately at a different time.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't have anything with me today. I've just reached home and I'm with my mother.
That's all right.
So I'm a little
Yeah.
unprepared for that.
Yeah. No,
But
that's all right.
I'm the audience today.
Yeah, no, we are quite used to people quietly listening, and then half an hour later, bring out from the back pocket, they bring out a big poem, which which entertains us. So don't worry about it. We are quite used to this, and we love an audience.
Thank you.
Right. Okay, but Cyrus, before I mean, do you have a poem or a song for us
No,
today?
I've got a song, so why don't you go ahead with your
Yeah,
poem?
okay. So that is what I was thinking. Let me do the poems and then I will do and then listen to the song. Okay, so I'm reading out from Ranjit Hoskote's Ice Light, his latest book. And
Oh, you got it
yeah.
online.
I was whenever I go to the office, there is home bookshop. And
Okay.
I dread going in because I know moment I go in, I will not come out empty-handed. Yeah? So I try to get poetry or I try to patronize Indian poets. In fact, I bought
Yeah,
one on Vara Vara Rao also, but that's for another day. Okay, so I'm going to read out a couple of Ranjit. By the way, Ranjit Hoskote also follows DPC poetry on his Instagram. So that's an honor for us. And then this one's for Arundhati Subramaniam, who we know is a very well-known Indian poet. For her, written by Ranjit Hoskote, and true to Arundhati, he has written a poem on gods. All gods travel. All gods travel. Some ride camels, others ride catastrophes. Some shimmer along a pealing bell, others chase tow trucks, taking turns to ball their fists or stick their tongues out. Some hide in your sleeves or become spiders at nightfall. but some remember they were packed into camphor-scented chests carried across rivers, bridging bloated days and shivering nights until they were pressed down on the cart to call halt. Here's ripe stone, here's a silvered creek, here's the call of the flute, the trees praised in three tongues, a harvest of shades. All gods travel, but when we want them to stay, some turn their backs on us, pat an aging dog on the head, and look out to the sea. So that's, I mean, I thought that's a
Very nice.
brilliant poem.
Good.
Ranjit has got the essence of Arundhati Subramaniam, especially in her latest books where she talks a lot about women saints. But let me do a one on so this book is, a lot of it is on planet and climate change. So which is what I thought we could have as a topic, but climate change was too woke. So I thought Earth is good enough. But here's one, dust. This golden light you see is all dust. If you had noticed that when you began to hunt for things that escaped us over stalled monsoons and kairi summers, sparrows missing from the corner of your eyes, partridge clouds trailing lost at night, quadrants hanging left unhinged by contrary winds, and while our stars rusted, the planets, born wanderers, frugal, nimble, stayed one leap ahead, one handspan out of reach. How long before we caught up or gave in? Our trees grew sour and blanched as they mistimed fruit. The sun's slightest breath would melt the ice in our glasses. Skimming from one castaway island to the next on a brittle sea, we trained our lenses on skies that were trying hard to tell us what the lions found out when they met the gun. The apex and the base are just the same, and every predator ends as a game. The golden light that's left is all dust. I mean, what imagery is this?
Very good.
That was wonderful.
I mean,
Yeah.
lovely.
Lovely. I mean, especially the ones like sparrows missing from the corner of your eye. And there's another one. The sky is trying hard to tell us what the lions found out when they met the gun. It's a
And the apex predator becomes game.
game. Yeah, that's right. So it's I thought this is one of his. I've read his other books because I ran into him at Jaipur Lit Fest last year and bushwhacked him to
Autograph.
to tell us what we are, and he was hugely, I would not say impressed is too strong a word, but he was hugely interested that we actually do this. Good. Wonderful. Get a chance. I'll have a few more poems and we'll go around the circle again. But let's take a good break and listen to Cyrus and his music. Cyrus, mic is yours.
All right. So Onkar brought up this subject at the beginning of our session today. And I was looking at it in a similar light. Earth, besides the pale blue dot that was referenced by you, Rajiv, the one that we all live on, Earth also refers to the actual stuff that we walk on. And when we die, for those of us who choose to be buried, it's 6 feet of earth that we will lie under. Set in the days of the Vietnam War, this beautiful and sad song by Don McLean talks of a young, inexperienced and terrified US Marine cowering in a foxhole as battle rages around him. And in his desperation and fear, he thinks of covering himself with the mud and the earth inside the foxhole in order to survive. This song is called The Grave.
Oh.
The grave that they dug him had flowers gathered from the hillside in bright summer colors, and the brown earth bleached white at the edge of his gravestone. He's gone. When the wars of our nation did beckon, a man barely 20 did answer the call, proud of the trust that he'd placed in our nation. He's gone. But eternity knows him, and it knows what we've done. And the rain fell like pearls on the leaves of the flowers, leaving brown muddy clay where the earth had been dry. And deep in the trench he waited for hours as he held on his rifle and prayed not to die. But the silence of night was shattered by fire as guns and grenades blasted sharp through the air. One after another his comrades were slaughtered in a morgue of Marines, alone standing there. He crouched ever lower with fear. They can't let me die, they can't let me die here. I'll cover myself with the mud and the earth. I'll cover myself, I know I'm not brave. The earth, the earth, the earth is my grave. The grave that they dug him had flowers gathered from the hillside in bright summer colors, and the brown earth bleached white at the edge of his gravestone. He's gone.
Oh, that's a beautiful song, Cyrus. Beautiful.
Very good. Beautiful.
Really.
Thank you.
Excellent poem.
Yes, yes. And then this was
And sad too. And sad too.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
This
And
was
great
Don
rendition.
This was Don McLean, yeah.
Yeah, he's usually known for his one song wonder.
No, two song wonder, no? American Pie and Starry Starry Night.
Starry Starry Night. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
No,
And
he's,
each song was just so popular.
yeah, true.
Right.
Yeah.
He wrote beautiful songs.
I love American Pie because I'm a lousy singer, but I can, do a karaoke with it.
But
Actually, it brought back
can you
some-
understand all the references there? I mean, I find
No,
American Pie
it is meaningless. That's
No,
the whole
no,
point.
no.
not meaningless. Really
Not
It
at
is
all.
full of meaning.
I read it up and they said
It's a reference to the day there was
The
a plane
musician
crash.
died. The music died. No?
There was a plane crash with a lot of famous musicians on board, and that was the day that the music died. And the jester sang to the king and queen. He's talking about Bob Dylan, and so there's all sorts of references in that.
Lots of references, millions of them. I think you have to be an American teenager to understand that.
I guess so. American teenager from the late 60s and 70s. Yeah.
True. Beautiful song, and also Starry Starry Night.
Yeah, that's another lovely song.
Yeah, kind of, it brought back some glimpses when my father was in Punch in the 71 war. I was very small, I'd gone to visit him in the bunker. So, that was the first time I saw a bunker and with the firing and stuff going. I mean, we don't understand what it was. And it was a very exciting thing for us to go inside the bunker and see how they're staying and very adventurous. But now, when you look back, I mean, those were bad days.
Yeah, yeah. And soldiers on both sides, I guess, at the same
Oh
time.
yeah. Okay, let's do seconds. Whoever wants to go first. Sanjay, you got anything more interesting Urdu poetry for us? Faz Ahmed, Faz or something? You're on mute.
I have something from Sahil Lujhanvi here, Rajiv, but it's something that I may have read earlier.
That's
So
all right.
okay. So this is. Can you hear me? Okay. So this is a poem called Parchhaiyan, Tasawwurat Ki Parchhaiyan, and this is how it goes. जवान रात के सीने पे दूध या आंचल मचल रहा है किसी ख्वाब मरमरी की तरह हसीन फूल हसी पत्तियां हसी शाखें लचक रही हैं किसी जिस्म नाज़मी की तरह फजा में घुल से गए हैं उफक के नर्म खुतूत जमी हसीन है ख्वाबों की सरजमी की तरह तसव्वुरात की परछाइयां उभरती हैं कभी गुमान की सूरत कभी यकीन की तरह वो दरख्त जिनके तले हम पनाह लेते थे खड़े हैं आज भी साकित किसी अमी की तरह उन्हीं के साये में फिर आज दो धड़कते दिल खामोश होठों से कुछ कहने सुनने आए हैं न जाने कितनी कोशिश से कितनी काविश से ये सोते जागते लम्हे चुरा के लाए हैं यही फजा थी यही रुत यही जमाना था यहीं से हमने मोहब्बत की इब्तिदा की थी धड़कते दिल से लरसती हुई निगाहों से हुजूर गैब में नन्ही सी इल्तिजा की थी कि आरजू के कमल खिल के फूल हो जाएं दिलो नजर की दुआएं कबूल हो जाएं तसव्वुरात की परछाइयां उभरती हैं थैंक यू
Beautiful, so poetic.
Very nice. How about explaining it?
it's a very famous
Or sing it. Maybe then we'll
No, I
understand.
can't
Why
sing.
don't you?
You'll run away if I start singing.
No. You just, just gungunao. We'll know which song is that. I mean, I can't make out.
No, it's not a song, it's a poem.
Okay,
Okay.
then
Yeah,
tell
so,
us.
it's जवान रात के सीने पे दूध या आंचल it's a moonlit night, that's what he is trying to say. मचल रहा है किसी ख्वाब मरमरी की तरह, it's like a white dream. मरमर is संगमरमर, so it's मचल रहा है किसी ख्वाब मरमरी की तरह हसीन फूल हसी पत्तियां हसी शाखें लचक रही हैं किसी जिस्म नाज़मी की तरह. So there is the moving around like a beautiful woman, like the body of a woman, like the rhythm that you have seen the body of a woman. फजा में घुल से गए हैं उफक के नर्म खुतूत. There, ufak is brightness, dawn. Okay, फजा में घुल से गए, in the environment you see some signs of the dawn appearing. जमी हसी है ख्वाबों की सरजमी की तरह. The earth is looking beautiful just as a land of dreams. तसव्वुरात की परछाइयां उभरती हैं. तसव्वुरात is imagination, परछाइयां is shadows. So he's imagining something. This is what he's imagining. वो दरख्त जिनके तले हम पनाह लेते थे, the trees under which we took shelter, खड़े हैं आज भी साकित किसी अमी की तरह. Sakit is silent, Ami is a guardian. So the trees where we used to meet each other, he's recalling his times when he was in love with somebody, was romancing somebody. वो पेड़ जिनके तले हम पनाह लेते थे, खड़े हैं आज भी साकित किसी अमी की तरह. उन्हीं के साये में फिर आज दो धड़कते दिल खामोश होठों से कुछ कहने सुनने आए हैं. न जाने कितनी कोशिश से कितनी काविश से ये सोते जागते लम्हे चुरा के लाए हैं. Two young lovers are meeting where he used to meet in his time. यही फजा थी, यही रुत, यही जमाना था, यहीं से हमने मोहब्बत की इब्तिदा की थी. It was in a time like this that we had started our romance. मोहब्बत की इब्तिदा, इब्तिदा is beginning. धड़कते दिल से लरसती हुई निगाहों से, लरसना is trembling. धड़कते दिल से लरसती हुई निगाहों से हुजूर गैब में नन्ही सी इल्तिजा की थी. In the sanctum sanctorum we had made a small prayer. Iltija is prayer. कि आरज़ू के कंवल खिल के फूल हो जाएं, that may our dreams come true. दिलो नजर की दुआएं कबूल हो जाएं, that whatever we are asking with a what we are asking may be accepted. तसव्वुरात की परछाइयां उभरती हैं. This is very good. So it's a very long poem. Taken, it's about it runs into about 8-10 pages.
Wow.
Of printed text. So obviously you can't say the whole thing. But it's a very well-known poem. And the thing with Sahir is that most of his poetry, including the one that has been used in cinema, was not written for cinema. Unlike a poet like, say, Majrooh Sultanpuri. Much of Majrooh Sultanpuri's poetry is written for the cinema.
Even Gulzars.
Yeah. But Sahir, it was very different. Kafi Azmi too. Most of the poetry is, it may have been used in cinema, but was not written for the cinema.
Yeah, I think, yeah, that's right. I mean, there are a number of poets of that
Era.
I would say, who for them the film the glamorous film industry was a little nice to do. It was a sidetrack, but yeah, it happened. But nowadays, other day, I mean, Javed Akhtar and Gulzar are like, typically they land up everywhere. But yes, they are pretty well commercial. I mean, they're good too, but they're also commercial.
But Javed Akhtar has written some really good non-filmy poetry also, Rajiv. Maybe next time I'll bring some of his stuff.
I've heard. I think he has got a book or two also on that. Yeah. Ek minute, I'm just trying to. But shall we go and move the baton on? Jasbir, you have got anything old or new?
You're on mute, Jasbir.
So I'm going to read one when I was just 8 or 9 years, when we were made to learn a poem. When we used to learn poems, those were the days. So this is by W.B. Rance, a poet. He writes, he talks about the earth. With the wonderful water round you curled, and the wonderful grass upon your breast, world, you're beautifully dressed. The wonderful air is over me, and the wonderful wind is shaking the tree. It walks on the water and whirls the mills and talks to itself on the tops of the hills. You friendly earth, how far do you go? With the wheat fields that nod and the rivers that flow, with cities and gardens and cliffs and isles and people upon you for thousands of miles. Ah, you're so great, and I'm so small. I tremble to think of you, world, at all. And yet, when I said my prayers today, a whisper inside me seemed to say, you're more than the earth, though you're such a dot. You can love and think, and the earth cannot. Thank you.
Yeah, so simple and sweet. Actually,
Very good.
it's just conveying what it wants to. Seriously.
Yeah, but it was a poem for children, I guess.
Yeah, it is. It is.
No, but you know what? I think it's like I'm an absolute adult. And the last, I mean, I love it today more than what I did then.
But it's a school level poem, right?
Because no, but it's written by such a W.B. Rance. I mean, he's written very good poetry. But I'm just saying, How true. I mean, he's just painted a picture. You can just think about it. So beautiful. Today, I mean, I can't write a poem as sweet as this. It's like that because I'm a good sport. I mean, I'm very good. I mean, I'm not like a poet or a singer, or I'm a good sport. I do all of that. So I love this.
Good for you. Rajiv, you're on mute.
And that's nice. And now I'm falling out of practice of doing online meets, especially now that the online era is ending. But okay, nice. You wanna take the mic away, Gunika, and then share something nice?
Yeah, I have a Hindi poem here. It's about bringing back a lost world. I mean, I take it like that. So it goes like, ना मेरी ज़मीं है, ना तेरा आसमान है, इसके अलावा एक और जहां है, जहां बच्चों का बचपन सलामत है अब तक, पंछी चहकते सवेरे सवेरे, चिरागों के नीचे ना होते अंधेरे, पत्तों से भरे पेड़ों की डाली पे लटके हैं झूलों की रस्सियों के मेले, सखियों के संग ना होते अकेले, तितली के पंखों पे होती झरनों की बूंदें, सपने जो देखे आंखों को मूंदे, न होते हैं कुंडे न तालों में चाबी, दिन है सुनहरे और शामें गुलाबी, बहती है बारिश में कागज की नावें, टूटी सी छतरी की भीगी सी छावें, फूलों पे बैठे भंवरों की गुनगुन, नानी कहानी सुनाती है सुन सुन, फिर लड़ते हैं क्यों सब जमीनों के पीछे, वो भी तो हैं जो सोते पीपल के नीचे, ये सुंदर सी दुनिया तो छोटा सा घर है बैठा इधर तू, वो बैठा उधर है, चलो फिर से ढूंढे वो प्यारा जहां है, ना मेरी जमी है और ना तेरा आसमान.
It's a wonderful poem.
Yes, very
Wonderful.
Very
Beautiful.
So well written, I must say. Excellent.
This is one of yours,
This is a
Gunika.
Must
very
put it up.
old one. Yes, I don't
You
know.
must put up on the group. Yeah, I want to go through it again. So,
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Excellent. Beautiful.
Very nice. Gunika, as always.
No, I've been totally out of writing. I'm just searching in my notes, where have I written something which to do with the earth, because generally I do end up finding something with some kind of a topic because I keep writing, but now बहुत दिन से I've not been able to somehow, write a lot. But yeah, this was a very old one of mine. I don't know whether I've shared it or not, but this was like what is happening nowadays. Like people are so busy in their own world, that idyllic world is somehow missing.
Yeah. It was beautiful. Thank you. Rajiv, you're on mute.
I'll bore you. I'll bore you again with the Ranjit Housecutter poem before Cyrus takes us away with his music. Let me do another one from his book, Icelite, and this one's called Mist Shop. The Mist, M-I-S-T, the Mist Shop. In the lost and found department of the Mist Shop, we scoured the stacks for oil-slicked bay and casuarina stand. Twisting around in this rodeo season of Mustang tides, we breathed out and bumped into starch-stretched ballooned ourselves in a section advertising every shape and brand of mirror. We ducked, veered, tilted away from the earth's axis, rose to cloud forests, dove to sunk islands, in the television screens in the department next door. Take it as it comes, said the acrobat who badly needed a haircut, perched for the day among macaws and cockerels at the counter across the aisle, their eyes gleaming, their beaks stalked. Concave, convex, and anaphoric as Holbein's skull, ready to swallow you in the street and the houses across the street. And I could have sworn that was a comet whooshing down the blocks? Or is that just a man in oversized silver overalls scattering pomegranate seeds from a torn gunny sack on the sidewalks as he goes? So this was
This was surreal.
yeah, this
Good.
was a very strong surreal imagery which he gave in this poem.
It was like a Picasso painting or a Salvador Dali painting,
Yeah, Ranjit tends to do that. He tends to write a lot of difficult poems. So you really have to get into it to figure out what is he actually trying to say, or what's the meaning behind his poems. And lots of time I lose it. So today I've said some poems recited some poems which I actually had a rough feel of. But Ranjit is a complex poet, not a simple poet at that. Yeah, that's right. It's important to be in tune with the latest poetry, and that's what actually GLF taught us. That if you go and just sit out there and listen to 1 hour of poetry at the end of the day, they always have this session between 6 and 7 of the poetry hour, and one session is just poetry. So just listen. Some poets are good, some you like, some you don't. But then you get a feel of what the canvas is today. What are the poets writing today?
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, over to you, Saras.
Okay. So the second song is not really about the earth. It's not on topic as such. It has an earthy sense about it because it's a memory of a love affair that the protagonist is recalling with a woman who was perhaps less sophisticated, but who really took his, he was really into her. And it's a song called Affair on 8th Avenue. And it's by Gordon Lightfoot. The perfume that she wore was from some little store on the downside of town, but it lingered on long after she'd gone. I remember it well, and she showed me her treasures of paper and tin. And we played a game only she could win. Her long flowing hair came softly undone, and it lay all around. And she brushed it down as I stood by her side in the warmth of her love. And our fingers entwined like ribbons of light, and we came through a doorway somewhere in the night. And she told me a riddle I'll never forget, and left with the answers I've never found yet. How long, said she, can a moment like this belong to someone? What's wrong, what is right? For to live or to die, we must almost be born. So if you should ask me what secrets I hide, I'm only your lover, don't make me decide. The perfume that she wore was from some little store the downside of town. But it lingered on long after she'd gone. I remember it well. And she showed me her treasures of paper and tin. And we played a game only she could win. And our fingers entwined like ribbons of light. And we came through a doorway somewhere in the night.
Beautiful.
Oh, amazing.
Excellent,
Yes,
Cyrus.
excellent.
You sang it so well.
It's a beautiful
Yes.
song.
So melodious.
That was a lovely song, Cyrus.
Thank you.
Much enjoyed it. It was
Glad you all did.
Good, good, good. Chalo, with that, I think we have had a wonderful hour
Yes,
of
we have.
poetry and music.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
And then we hope to meet again. At the end of the month, what's the end of the month is
30th? Last
30th. 30th.
Yeah. 30th.
On 30th, we'll have an in-person meet. And this one's special. Chavi Jain, who is our contact in that school, Sanjay, if you remember that school, and she's a librarian. Her mother has written a book and she wants DPC to launch the book. Well, it's already launched, but it's sort of, present the book and then give it some. So she'll be there with the book. So let's try to get some buzz around it, and then let's see if British Council works or something else may work. Let's find out. Maybe somewhere in Gurgaon might work because she's in Gurgaon.
Yeah, that'd be. Yeah, I think we should build an event around it.
We can build
probably
it.
that's what she expects too. And also, it reminds me, if I'm not mistaken, our birthday comes somewhere in September, doesn't it?
Yes, that's right. End of September, early October kind of thing.
So
That's-
we could club the two together, perhaps,
Yeah.
and have a bit
Yeah.
of a party as well.
Yes, let's do that. So the idea is to have a eventish kind of thing at the end of the month, and then let's see how much we can, how attractive we can make it to the people.
I'm sure we can. Yeah.
I'll talk with you separately, Sanjay. Okay, all right then. With that, we bring this session to an end. And
Thank
thank you
you.
very much. for
Thank
that.
you.
Rajiv.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thanks.
Rajiv.
Beautiful. It was.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.